Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, look, we people want to stay happy. We want to keep ourselves away from the unhappiness during all the ages of life, particularly the time we are living in. I think that is right thing. Although we are seen indulging in the things which are not good for us, which are not good for us at all, as far our happiness level is concerned, as far our happiness is concerned. So, my dear friends and fellows, I think that happiness must be made our priority, and particularly when we are growing older, when the time is passing, I think our old age must be a happy age, and we can only become happy if at all we do take care it, we do take care of prior to the arrival of it. If at all the old age has arrived, even then we should try to keep ourselves happy. As far the older age happiness is concerned, we have made it a topic of our today's discussion, and we have come across certain things which we need to understand, which we need to practice, and by understanding, by practicing those things, I believe that our old age will become definitely a very happy one. Rather, regardless of what age we are in at the moment, I think it will become really a happy one. So there are certain things, and these things are whatever we have collected as far our happy life is concerned. So these things are 12 in number. So all of these 12 things are very important, very useful. I think that we should try to implement, we should try to practice all of those things inside in our own life, so that our life could become a happy one, so that our old age could become even a more happy one. Let's look upon all that, all of those 12 things one by one. First of all, it is the first thing is hanging on grudges. Hanging on to grudges against anyone else, must not hold grudge against anyone else at all, because the grudge, it is designed, it is aimed for damaging the other people, but it damages other people very little. It damages we ourselves a lot. And for all that reason, if at all I don't want to poison my thought, my mind, if at all I don't want to poison my system, I must keep away from the grudges against anyone else. But as far any issue between us is concerned, that can be taken to the court, that can be taken to the jury, that can be taken to any forum wherever it is needed to be taken. But holding on to grudges against anyone else, that is absolutely and totally noxious and poisonous. It must be avoided. So that is the number one thing. As for the number two thing is concerned, that is neglecting your health. That is neglecting your health. Why to neglect our health while the health is the biggest of wealth? So why to neglect it? I think never ever underestimate the importance of the health, because once the health is lost, I think it will be very difficult to regain. And then I think that it is far better an option to take care of your health before you get sick. Take care of yourself before we get sick, so that our sickness could be avoided and we can be protected from the disease or from injury of any untoward happening. So I think it is very important indeed that we should be taking care of our health before it is too late. And now the third is worrying about the future. Worrying about the future. Why to worry about the future? We need to plan about the future, we need to prepare about the future. And that's all. Having done the two of these things, planning on the one hand, preparation on the other hand, then we need to leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we need to leave it to God Almighty. So I think this thing, that we must be planning our future. Not worry about the future at all. Not worry about the future, but to plan and prepare, and then leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the fourth is living in the past. Living in the past, that is totally absolutely bad. Whether the past was a good one, whether the past was a good one, or a bad one, I think that we need to leave it there. If at all it was a good one, that's fine, and let's try to make our present a good one as well. Let's try to make our future good one as well. But if it was not a good one, if at all most of it was not a good one, then what is needed here? We need to learn. We need to learn. We need to learn from our previous mistakes, and that's all. We need to forgive the people, and we need to seek the forgiveness from the people as well. But do not, live in the past. And if at all, as far there are regrets about the past are concerned, those must be left away. Those must be allowed to go away. So that is that is living in the past. Now the fifth is overworking yourself. Overworking. Do not overwork yourself at all. Do not overwork yourself at all. There must be a kind of balance between our work, between our life. There must be a bit balance between our work and between our life, and never cross the limit. Never become an imbalanced person. Never, as for the overwork is concerned, that spoils our health, that spoils our happiness. So for that all reason, we must avoid the overworking. Now the sixth is ignoring your passion. Ignoring your passion. I must be paying attention to my passion, because the passions are my life. If at all I'm overworking, or because of any other reason I'm ignoring my passion, it means that I'm doing the greatest injustice for myself, because I need to work for my passion, because my passions make me happy. But these passions must be a healthy one. These passions must be a positive one for myself as well as for other people. Or if at all it is good for me, it should not be bad for the other people at all. So never ever ignore your passion, because the passions of the life, because the passions brings color to my life, to your life, to all of the people's life. We need to identify what are my passion, and then we need to pursue, then we need to follow all of that. Now the next is the seventh is being a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser. Never be a people pleaser at all, because those who are the people pleaser, rather we need to learn to say no wherever it is needed. And there must be boundaries, because everybody can do the certain thing, but there must be a boundary. There should be a reasonable boundaries, and we need to enforce these reasonable boundaries as well. There must be reasonable boundaries, and we must enforce these reasonable boundaries as well. So, my dear friends and fellows, I think these boundaries are very important. Boundaries and reasonable boundaries are very important. Not being a people pleaser at all. Now, the eighth is, not asking for help. The eighth is not asking for help at all. Not asking for help. I think we must be asking for help. We must be asking for help wherever it is needed. We must ask for the help. Either it is a paid help or an unpaid help. Wherever we think that I am unable to do this thing, we must be asking for the help, and that is something very important, because everybody on earth, they are not able to do everything by themselves. Rather they are they are found in need of other people help, either paid or unpaid. Certain helps are being available unpaid, and another certain helps we can ask from our loved one, from our friend. And now the ninth is neglecting your relationships. Never neglect your relationships are important, and these positive healthy relationships, the relationship should be where we share common values, where we share where the shared values and the respect for each other, and a bit of care for each other. So the three of these things, the respect for each other, the care for each other, and the shared values. So the three of these things are the very strong bond of a good relationship. I think we should not ignore the relationships. Rather, we need to nurture the good relationships. Now, the tenth is comparing yourself to others. Why to compare myself with other people? Because everybody here on this earth is a unique one. Even the twin brother, born from the womb of the same mother at the same time and were raised in the same sort of circumstances, they too, their life cannot be together. Their life cannot be the same. So, if at all their life are not the same, how come my and your life and somebody's life can be the same one? So never compare your life with that of anybody. Rather, because everybody is unique. Everybody on earth is a unique person. So why to compare our life with the life of any other person? Now the 11th is staying in your comfort zone. Staying in your comfort zone. Why to stay in my comfort zone? Why you should stay in your comfort zone? Let's step outside our comfort zone, and that is very, very important indeed. We must be staying outside the comfort, step outside the comfort zone, as it is very, very important. Because if at all we do stay our comfort in our comfort zone, there will be no personal growth at all. The growth will begin where we do step out of the comfort zone. Our growth will begin from there. And now the 12th and the last is, not expressing gratitude, not being grateful, not practicing gratitude. So this is the 12th thing. I think we must be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although I'm not having everything else, but I do have certain things which are very important. And in the same manner, if at all there are certain missing things in my life, but there are certain problems in my life, so I am protected from many of the problems as well. So I need to be grateful for this thing, that I'm not having many of the problems which other people are suffering. So I think we need to become grateful to our parents. We need to become grateful to all the people who have done even a very small favor to us. We need to be grateful to the people who didn't do any bad thing with us. So I think we need to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us certain, not all, certain many precious things. We are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for protecting us from many of the problems which other people are suffering. Although I do have certain problems, but many of the problems are not there in my life. So I need to become grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the 12 things. These are the 12 things I think which we need to understand. If at all we do understand, I think the 12 of these things, what is going to happen? My life will become better. I will become happier and happier and happier in my life, inshallah. So that's all from me at the moment.